Hey parents, teachers, thank you so much. Grandparents, thank you so much for coming back again and again. I talked about the digital space yesterday. I want to talk a little bit more about it. Now, the digital space is something right now we cannot walk away. Our children are there in that digital space. Our children are there. Now, I want to put this thought. Can we help our children to start sharing their stories of faith, sharing their journey with the Lord in that digital space with their own friends? Can they share? Oh, absolutely, they can. We can encourage them to do that. Now, three things. When your teenagers do that, when your young people do that, please understand, getting out in that social space where they are putting out their faith and their journey with the Lord, first is they will be very reluctant unless you have really spent time discipling them and anchoring them in the Word of God and God of the Word. They will be a little reluctant. Two, if they do it, it becomes a testimony where they have to be very careful about how they live their life, because now their friends are all watching them about how they live their lives. But if we can connect with our children, connect with our teenagers, connect with our young people and telling them, saying, put some messages out. It's okay. I believe this very strongly. I've shared this several times. This is not a time for just one person or one organization or one group of people who needs to share about the Lord and things like that. No. This is a time that anyone and everyone, even teenagers, even young people, standing up and sharing their stories. Stories is what that matters. Stories that lives are being changed. Stories of how life is being very authentic. Nothing, something that you're faking and things like that. No. That's what we want to disciple our children into. Now, as I'm saying this, I want to be a little appropriate here. I'm not asking you to encourage your very young pre-teenagers and teens to do all of this. If some of them are able and capable and they've already started doing or things like that, that's a different story. But more of the students who are getting into college, encourage them to start sharing. Put something out. What's going to happen? When they start sharing, they're putting their convictions out and their friends are going to know about it. And the last episode I talked about one of my a boy who has just started college, and he, again, the conversation that I had with him yesterday, and he said, Daddy, they're already calling me to the pubs and they're calling me to come there. So right in the beginning, so I told him, what's the principle? You know that? And he said, yes, Daddy, I know it. Right in the beginning, I set my principle. I let them know about my do's and don'ts. I let them know about my yes and no's. Right in the beginning, if I'm able to set that right. So in that digital space, as your children, as your teenagers, as your young people are connecting with other friends, help them to step out and share their convictions. Help them to step out and share what they believe in. And that will put them into a space where they have to live a life of testimony. They're not perfect teenagers, they're not perfect young people, but at least they're able to live their life of testimony. Sometimes when they don't do that, what happens? I'm just saying this. When they don't do that, sometimes they can become a little lethargic and slowly slip away. But again, this kind of putting up and things like that, first, the most important thing is that connection that you have with your teenager, the connection that you have with your young person. I've said this several times, I time to time connect with the teenagers, connect with the young people, talk to them and all of that. But my children, they always connect quite a lot with my wife. If she's getting out, they all surround her and share all the different stories. I think that's what discipleship is about. Why do my children don't connect with me like that? There were days I was very strict and very strong and things like that. They know I have changed. If I'm going to sit there, they would always sit. But still that little fear is still there. I know some of you are sitting there and saying, oh, that's right, I have changed, but my son has not accepted my change. That's exactly. That's okay. We don't have to feel bad about it. That's okay. You know you have changed. I know I have changed, and I know I'm changing. But we need to continue to go on. That's the way we begin to walk with our children, with our teenagers. It's an amazing journey to help them anchor their convictions, not just anchor their convictions, also to let their friends know about their convictions. That's what this episode is all about. It's all about convictions, helping your children, helping your teenagers, young people show and stand for their convictions. Thank you so much for being there.